Halton police are investigating a fatal shooting outside a mall in Burlington. Officers were called to the Burlington Centre Mall's parking lot shortly after 10 o'clock last night. They found a 24-year-old man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital. That's where he was pronounced dead. The victim, identified as Omer Niaz Muhammad, and police say they're looking for two suspects who drove off in a white SUV. We had a chance to speak to a witness who attempted to help the victim.
I was at Wings Up CM Dish, just behind that 7-Eleven right there. I heard 3 shots. At the point I heard 3 shots, I heard some commotion. I couldn't tell what was said. Within a few a few seconds later, I saw one individual who I believe who did the shooting go into a black SUV. I saw a black SUV and a white SUV drive off simultaneously.
Okay, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan joins us live from the scene in Burlington. Steve, I have to ask this, right? This is the second mall parking lot shooting in about a week. What do you have to say about these occurrences?
Well, I would suggest that any time the police believe that a shooting is targeted, oftentimes it will occur in parking lots because that's where people exit their cars. That's where people go to park a car and get out of a car. So if you have a grudge with somebody and it is a targeted shooting, in this case a targeted homicide, you're going to go where it is easy to access the accessibility of this individual. So oftentimes they're crimes of opportunity and they happen to play themselves out in busy parking lots because that's where people park their cars. So I would suggest that there is no, or the police haven't said that there's no any connection between the shooting at Woodbine Mall just a few days ago and this shooting last night. It just happens to be, forget the mall, there are 2 parking lots where these shootings occurred, and oftentimes you will find targeted shootings occur in places like parking lots because, again, there is accessibility to that person that you've got this grudge with.
And Steve, that's a popular mall in a suburb. What about people who are feeling nervous right now, maybe about want to avoid the mall? What can you suggest to folks?
Well, targeted. Police say that there is no threat to public safety, so there is no greater danger walking through a shopping mall plaza parking lot or walking on the sidewalk. These shootings happen as a matter of opportunity, and they are things that the police make it very clear when they investigate targeted homicides that this was a targeted incident. This was a crime of opportunity. It was an isolated incident. So when you hear those things from police, that should settle people's minds when it comes to their concerns about their own safety. Look, all homicides affect the community. I speak about this all the time. A perception is reality. If you think that your community is unsafe, you're not going to do certain things. Your quality of life may be affected. But when you hear it is a targeted homicide, most often they are isolated incidents, and I believe that's what occurred here last night at this shopping mall parking lot at 10 o'clock.
And Steve, I do have to ask, what are you learning about the victim?
Well, we know that the 24-year-old man was an aspiring rapper. Now, because he was a rapper, it certainly doesn't mean that this homicide was as a result of the rapping industry, if you will. The police will follow the evidence. They certainly won't have a tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is something that you certainly do not want to participate in if, in fact, you are the lead investigator on a homicide. You go where the evidence takes you. They certainly will look into his background. They'll look into any persons that may have had animus against him, going back as far as they need to, and then they'll build their case from there. So it is a starting point. When you have a targeted homicide, you certainly will learn through social media feeds and through witnesses as to who may have had a grudge with this individual. But because he was a rapper or an aspiring rapper, certainly doesn't mean that it was the rapping industry that caused his homicide, but it certainly will be something that the investigators will look into.
Okay, live in Burlington, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan.